Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Geisman Gymnasium here on this Saturday night as the Cougars welcome the Vikings of North Park University for a little Saturday night men's volleyball action. Caps off an exciting opening weekend of volleyball for the Cougars. We'll get into what happened yesterday in just a second. But first, let's look at the North Park Vikings, what they've been doing so far up until now this season. 3-2 is their overall record. Still have yet to play a conference game, as many teams have at this point. Still a very, very young season. If we look at some of their recent results, they are currently on a 3-game winning streak, and that most recent win came just yesterday, a 3-2 win at versus Wabash. They were at North Park University for that one. So it was a 3-1 win. Some of the stats leaders for the North Park Vikings. We look through the box scores. Emmanuel Eugene, that is, player to watch, junior outside hitter from Grays Lake, Illinois, led the team in kills with 13. So one of the main offensive threats for this Viking squad. Meanwhile, Teddy Gedville, Jr., also out of Grays Lake, Illinois, went to Grays Lake North, while Eugene went to Grays Lake Central. Gedville, 3 service aces as well as 37 assists, both leading statistics for the North Park Vikings. Meanwhile, the Cougars, they're coming off a tough 3-2 loss against Iwu last night, a 5-set thriller. Big player from that game was Luke Vozanilik, led the team with 18 kills, but he did leave in the 4th set, and some bad news for Cougars fans. Vozanilik not dressed for tonight's game, so Cougars will be without their offensive cornerstone for tonight's matchup against the Vikings, as we are under 5 minutes away from first serve. Teams getting some final preparation done at the bench. They'll make their way to the court for the national anthem and starting lineups, which we'll have for you here on the Cougar Sports Network. And then we'll be back for the first serve of this game. Cougars welcoming the Vikings to River Forest here on Saturday night. Don't go anywhere. National anthem and starting lineups coming right up. for the night. Vikings taking on the Cougars. Let's run it through one more time for everybody watching at home. First for the Vikings, liberos are Caleb Patrick as well as Adrian Calez. Meanwhile, we have number 6, Emmanuel Eugene, outside hitter. Number 13, Ty Igraro, outside hitter. Number 14, Eric Bullard. Number 16, the setter, Teddy Gedville. Number 20, middle blocker, Sam Robinson. And number 24, middle blocker, Bobby Vaughn. Meanwhile, for the Cougars, the libero is number 1, the junior, Blake Rosen. And then you have number 3, middle blocker, Colby Campbell. Number 7, outside hitter, David Vales. Number 9, opposite side hitter, Tyler Hollebeck. Number 11, Eli Mosher, the setter. Number 18, Andre Moeller, middle blocker. And wearing number 24 tonight is the freshman, Van Gato. Gato wearing number 15 last night, switching up the number tonight. So same starting lineup for the Cougars as last night's matchup against Illinois Wesleyan. Only difference is the absence of the 6'7" Luke Vozenelik, being replaced by Gato. So see what the Cougars can do without their all-knack outside hitter and Vozenelik. Little history between these two teams. Cougars lead the all-time series 3-1 against the Vikings. Last matchup was a 3-0 Cougar win. That was a neutral site game at Watertown, Wisconsin, back on February 15th of 2020. Meanwhile, last time North Park was able to pull off a win was February 27, 2019. That was a 3-2 5-setter at North Park. This is the first time these two teams have faced off in Geisman. Another tidbit, these two teams did, in fact, play each other in an exhibition match just about a week ago, last Friday. As we are underway here in Geisman, first attempt from North Park grazes a Cougar before heading out of bounds. So Vikings strike first here in Geisman. Going back to serve now is number 13, Ty Ingrao. Ingrao's serve right to libero Blake Rosen. David Vales' attempt is right inside the line. Cougars even things up here at 1 point apiece. Vales so far has played in 5 of the Cougar sets in this young season. 7 kills, that's a little under 1.5 a match as his serve goes into the net for a service error. Service error number 3 on the year for the junior outside hitter from Oak Forest, Illinois. Went to Carl Sandburg High School, and serving now is the 6'5" middle blocker for the Vikings, Sam Robinson. And there's a 6'2" opposite hitter for the Cougars, Hollebeck finishing the play. Hollebeck, 17 kills in this season so far, 2.4 a set. And a nice little play there from Teddy Gedville. Gedville standing at 6'5", elevated just enough that he was able to dump that ball over the net. Gedville now back to serve. Hollebeck plays it. Mosher sets up Moeller, who finishes the job. So Hollebeck got himself a kill tonight. Great defensive play there from Hollebeck. That's a strong attempt from Emmanuel Eugene. Eugene's going to try it again. Not enough juice on that one as it goes into the net. Eugene, 69 points on the year. That's 58 kills, 2.9 a set. The 6'1" junior really helped propel this Vikings offense. Highest point total on the team. The next closest is Sam Robinson with 46.5. As Eugene sends that one into the net. Service errors were an issue in last night's matchup against Illinois Wesleyan as well. Both teams struggling from the service line. 15 service errors for Illinois Wesleyan. Meanwhile, the Cougars, they had 16 of their own. So far tonight, Cougars have 2 to the Vikings 1. That was almost another error. It's able to flip over the top of the net, and there's David Vales to capitalize. Vales gets the kill for the Cougars. Andre Moeller back to serve. Gets the sign from first-year head coach of the Cougars, Greg Manos, off to an 0-2 start in his career. Third head coach of this men's volleyball program. He was hired back in November of last year. He spent a lot of time at the Division I level, I should say. Most recently an assistant coach at Miami, Ohio. Very focused on scouting and player development with a focus on passing. He's also a defensive strategy coordinator. Meanwhile, associate and recruiting coordinator at Radford University before that. And then 2016 to 2020, found himself in the Chicago area as an associate head coach at Chicago State University. Manos is a 2013 graduate of Indiana University. That error leads to a North Park point. 7-6 is the Cougar lead. Here goes Bullard. Vales, his attempt looked like it went out. It touched a North Park Viking. And we're going to have a conversation now. Teddy Gedville heads over to the ladder judge. Didn't look like it touched one, and that's what the Vikings players are arguing. Cougars earn the point. So Mosher's serve is played by the Vikings and played well. Maybe a little instance of ball don't lie for North Park. They pull back within 1, 8-7. Should mention the officials for tonight are Mallory Roberts and Antoine Jackson. Meanwhile, the line judges, Sean Duheny and Stephen Morioka. So Roberts, the ladder official who Gedville had a conversation with. Gedville finds his team down by 2 now, 9-7. Like that 9-8 after the kill from Robinson. Buried it into the biceps of Mosher before it died down. So number 8, Christian IR, commits a service error of his own there. Colby Campbell back to serve now. One of, if not the most prolific blockers in CUC history last year. Broke the single season record for assisted blocks and total blocks. North Park earns the point there. Gedville back to serve. Greg Manos, head coach of the Cougars, shared some words with Antoine Jackson, the near side official who just conveyed some information to Roberts on the ladder. Now he's back having a conversation with Manos. Meanwhile, Gedville waits at the service line. Gedville's serve is over. Here go the Cougars now. Gato, strong attack. It's blocked up front, but goes out of bounds. Point Cougars. Gato, the freshman out of Darien, Illinois, getting the start tonight. 6 sets played yesterday, opening day for the Cougars. Total 12 kills for an average of 2 kills a set. 217 hitting percentage for a total of 14.5 points. Now Eugene back to serve for his Vikings. Trail the Cougars by 1. Hallbeck sets up Mosher, who sets up Moeller, who fires that one out the back of the playing lines. So we're all tied up here in Geisman at 11. Eugene gets some words from his head coach, Michael Supposi, his 5th season in charge of the Vikings, assisted by Joseph Irizarry, and then graduate assistant Rachel Reeve. So North Park, they're going to call timeout. They trail the Cougars 12-11. We're going to take a break up here in the booth as well. I'll be back in just a second on the Cougar Sports Network. Play about to resume here in River Forest. Cougars up on the Vikings just barely, 12-11, as we're hitting the midpoint of set number 1. Yesterday in the Cougars' 2 games against Adrian and Illinois Wesleyan, Cougars went 1-1 in set 1s, dropped the first set against Adrian 31-29. Meanwhile, first set against Illinois Wesleyan went the way of CUC 25-18. As here's the serve from Gato. Strong serve there. You can tell Gato put all of his might into that one. Now Rosen is going to set up Vales. Blocked. Good play there by Ingrao. That was destined to go out of bounds. It doesn't matter in the end, though, as there's Andre Moeller. Gato, another serve. Eugene, Gedville. Beautiful setup there. Gedville used one hand just to keep the ball up in the air long enough for Bobby Vaughn to finish things off. Gedville using all of his length on that one to get some fingertips on the ball. Again, sending at 6'5". So there's Berthold. Goes out of play, point Cougars. And that'll leave Moeller to serve here. (14) serving 12 here in set 1. Gedville sets up Sam Robinson for the kill. That one sent Gato down to his knees. Got a piece of it still, but just not at a good enough angle to keep it alive. As here's Eric Bullard. Cougars able to play it. Colby Campbell just tried to lift it over. North Park creates a read on it. Falling play by Blake Rosen keeps things moving. Bullard, great play there. Rosen to Campbell. We're still going. And now whistle finally blows. Point North Park. Violation on CUC. Is a good volley up until that point. Bullard. Vales blocked up front. That was Gedville and Robinson. Vales is going to go again. This time he's successful. That rolls off the hands of Gedville and Robinson and out of bounds. Point CUC. Retake the lead 15-14. Mosher. Mosher, freshman out of Clayton, Ohio. In the 2 games yesterday, he dropped 77 assists. That's a little over 8.5 per set played. Coach Manos inserting Mosher into the starting lineup from day one, and the freshman making the most of it. Now Rosen to Mosher to Hollebeck. Gedville blocked up front, but to no avail. That one dies down in the net. And the good thing about having Mosher on the squad now for the Cougars is that frees up Tyler Hollebeck, who is the primary setter for the Cougars last year, led the team in assists with 480, but Hollebeck's also a prolific offensive weapon as the opposite side hitter. So now you insert Mosher. He can be the primary assist man. That frees up Hollebeck to focus almost entirely on getting kills, which he has done so far, 17 in those 2 matches played yesterday. Now Mosher to Vales. Eugene sends it over. Rosen to Mosher to Hollebeck. Not able to convert on that one. And Eugene goes up, slams it down, and gives his North Park team the lead, 17-16. Mosher is going to give it to Vales. Eugene and Robinson were right there to keep it going, but too strong an attack ends in the CUC point. So we're all knotted up again, 17-17. Vales back to serve. Ball's up and over. Eugene to Gedville. Robinson blocked up in front. Colby Campbell. Ball still alive. Vales. Mosher. I'm going to say Mosher went over the net. Point North Park. We take the lead 18-17 now. Back in the game is Christian IR. Committed a service error his last attempt. This one is good though. Vales to Rosen. Gato. Blocked up front. Hit the pin, they're saying. So point North Park, they take a 2-point lead late here in set 1, 19-17. Timeout called by Greg Manos of the Cougars. We'll take a break here as well. Stick around on the Cougar Sports Network for the end of set 1 between the Vikings and the Cougars. for Forest. CUC trailing North Park 19-17 as the timeout running out of time here. Buzzer about to go off. Decent crowd here in Geisman, as expected on a Saturday night. A fair portion of students are participating in the festivities over in Seward, Nebraska for the 70th annual Concordia Invitational Tournament between the basketball teams of Concordia, Wisconsin, Concordia, Chicago, Concordia, Ann Arbor, and of course the host Concordia, Nebraska. The CUC men's basketball team lost both of their matches, unfortunately. The women, they were playing in the CIT championship game tonight. They're down 44-20 at half. So we'll get a final score update on that once it comes out. For now, back here in Geisman, Coach Manos is going to use another timeout. His team is down by 4. North Park just 4 points away from claiming set 1. We'll keep it here in the booth, look over some of the stats. Some of the early leaders of the match. David Vales taking charge of the kill category for the Cougars without their heavy hitter Luke Fozenelik. Vales with 4 kills, tied with Ty Ingrao for the match lead. In second place is the Vikings, Sam Robinson with 3. Blake Rosen leads all players in digs with 4. Meanwhile, the assist category belongs to Teddy Gedville with 9. And just 2 behind him is the Cougars' standout freshman so far, Eli Mosher with 7. So Christian Ayars to serve once again. We get a very late substitution here. Vales out in is Deontay Garcia, defensive specialist. So Cougars rocking with both Garcia and Rosen, a defensive-heavy lineup, not to mention Colby Campbell up front, prolific blocker for the Cougars. So 3 defensive-minded players on the court. Now Mosher sets up Hollaback, and Hollaback gets the kill. Hollaback ends the North Park run. That was a 4-point run for the Vikings. So now Cougars trail by just 3. They're running out of leeway, however, as North Park quickly approaching that magic number of 25. Chris Livesay to serve, as now there's some confusion on the North Park bench. Antoine Jackson, near side official, talking things over with Vikings head coach Michael Saposi. Now Livesay gets the go-ahead to serve. Ball is up and over. Here's Gedville. Eugene gets the kill, brings his team 1 point closer to a set victory. (22-18). Stands the score. Gedville is going to check out for the Vikings. Coming in to serve is number 17, Alejandro Condoy. Serve. Deontay Garcia makes the play. Here goes Hollaback. Errant attack there, goes out of play. That gap to 25 is closing ever more for North Park. An impressive 6-1 run here. And that serve goes right off the hands of Garcia. Almost hits public announcer Jimmy Egan on the scores table. Egan able to get a hand on it. So set point here for the Vikings, 24-18. Condoy to serve once more. Rosen, Mosher, Moeller pings the corner. Andre Moeller keeps the Cougars set chances alive a little longer. Tyler Hollaback, the senior, to serve out of New Lenox, Illinois. Some Vikings called out. They're going to instead play it. Rosen keeps it alive. Blake Rosen, some standout libero play. We're still going. And that will do it, however. Rosen, some acrobatics, keep the set alive a little longer, but the volley ends with North Park point 25. They take set one, 25-19. The teams are going to switch sides. And we're going to take a little bit of a break on the Cougar Sports Network as well. But don't go anywhere. Set two is coming up. Vikings, they lead the Cougars 1-0 in the match. Set two about to kick off here in River Forest. Cougars find themselves in a 1-0 match deficit to the Vikings. We took set one, 25-19. Look at some of the team stats. Kills belongs to the Vikings, 13-10, as does hitting percentage, 276-185. So the Cougars struggling in the hitting percentage category. That was not the case in their last match last night against Illinois Wesleyan. They had a higher, despite the loss to the Titans, they had a higher hitting percentage, 233-206. So that hitting percentage number not where it was last night. I'm sure Greg Manos will have some adjustments for his team to get them back to that standard. Well, the buzzer sounds, which means set two is about to kick off here. One final huddle for both teams before they take their place on the court. Service errors. I mentioned they were a problem in last night's match against IWU. They are rearing their ugly head once again. 4 service errors for both squads so far. See if either will be able to clean things up a little here in set two or not, as the players are taking their position on the court. Moeller, Hollaback, and then entering the match for the first time is Jose Padron, front line for the Cougars. Meanwhile, Mosher Campbell and Vales in the back. Padron played in one set last night. Had a single dig, 6 total attempts, a negative .333 hitting percentage. Also committed a serving error. Now Campbell is going to check out in favor of Blake Rosen. Then Mosher will move up to the front line in exchange for Padron. And serving to kick things off here is number 10, Noah Salazar. Right to Padron, the newcomer in tonight's matchup. And right off the bat, block up front from Robinson. Middle blocker doing exactly that out of Chicago, Illinois. Taft High School graduate. Salazar to serve once again. Diving play by Vales, keeps us moving. Vales tries to send it over, instead he'll hit the net. And Salazar to serve a third straight time. Vales pops it up, Mosher does the same. Here goes Hollabeck. Nice play there by Vicente Cabrera. Mosher's going to set up Padron, who buries it into the net. Cougars an early 3-0 hole here in set 2. Salazar, serve is up and over. Mosher, Moeller, his attack goes out of play and almost on cue. That'll force a timeout from Greg Manos. He needs to get his team in order as they find themselves in an early hole here in set 2, 4-0. So we'll be back in just a bit on the Cougar Sports Network. Don't go anywhere here. Set 2 about to continue. Vikings, interesting note, they left the timeout huddle at about 35 seconds left. They want to keep this roll going. They're absolutely taking care of business here in set 2, 4-0 right now. Hollabeck ends the run. Tyler Hollabeck gets the Cougars on the board here in set number 2. And now the senior will go back to serve. Service error committed by Hollabeck. Gives the ball right back in the control of North Park. Here's Robinson. Robinson up and over. He didn't even jump up. He kept his feet on the ground for that serve. Padron has to send the free ball over. Gedville. And a strong attack from Parker Payne. Bounce off some Cougar hands before heading out. Sam Robinson to serve. Good serve. Rosen goes down to one knee to play it. Nice dig there. That was by Noah Salazar. Padron and some miscommunication on part of the Cougars. Mosher came all the way over to play that ball, but Padron played it. Mosher dove in his attempt, and then that near side spot on the court was left wide open. And that's where Padron tried to put it. Now Padron will get a shot here. By the Vikings, and they end it with a kill. 8-1 here in set number 1. Cougars got to get something going here, or else the set's really going to get out of hand. There's Robinson to Rosen, Mosher, Padron, and there it is. Point number 2 for the Cougars. 8-2 is the score. Make that 9-2 now with Padron serve going out the back. Teddy Gedville. Serve hits the top of the net. Rosen reads it though. Rosen sends the ball over the net. And getting the kill, finishing the play is Cabrera. Sophomore from all the way in Santiago, Chile. So the Vikings up by 8 once again here, but Robinson's attack goes out. Cuts the lead down to 7, 10-3. Moeller, I don't know if you can make a more perfect serve than that. Hits the top of the net, dies immediately, but still crosses the line. No play for the Vikings at all. Gedville used the net perfectly. Padron got a hand on that attempt. No other Cougar is able to help him out. That lead up to 7 now. Eugene. A rocket of a serve. Too much of one as well as that goes out of bounds. 11-5 now. Mosher set to serve. Mosher serve. Eugene sends it to Cabrera. Violation called on the Cougars. Greg Manos has some words with Antoine Jackson about it. Not much of a conversation there. Payne to serve. Vales. Mosher. Here goes Hollaback. Right into the arms of Gedville. Cabrera. That play goes nowhere. Vales. Gedville going all the way up to snag that one. Keep the play moving. Nice backhanded dig there from Hollaback. We're still going here on this volley. Pancake by Rosen, but it goes dead immediately. Lead at 8 once more for the Vikings. Payne, played by Campbell. Great dig from Emmanuel Eugene. And now that attempt goes out. 9-point lead. That'll force a personnel change for the Cougars. In comes Vladimir Erickson. Out comes Colby Campbell. Erickson played 2 sets yesterday. 6'6" freshman out of Batavia, Illinois, as North Park earns themselves another point. Double-digit lead now for the Vikings. And yet another timeout used by Greg Manos. So while the Cougars, they try to recollect themselves here in set two, we'll take a breath up here on the Cougar Sports Network as well. Cougars, they're trailing the Vikings big here in set two, 15-5. 20 seconds left in the timeout called by Coach Manos of CUC. His team down big against a North Park squad that is firing on all cylinders right now, up 15-5 on Concordia. Concordia looking to avoid their third loss in 2 days. Though an interesting note about the Cougars from last season, of course, there's a new head coach and plenty of new blood in the lineup as well. But that team, they didn't have the most success in non-conference play. As this volley keeps on going, Gedville. Nice play there by Rosen, still alive. Vales almost finished the play there. Cabrera was able to recover. Now Rosen sets up Hollaback. Gedville to Payne. Salazar, and what a volley finally ended by North Park. Their bench is going nuts. Even Coach Michael Saposi is sharing a couple of laughs and a fist pump as well. He's fired up just like the rest of his team. But on that note of last season's non-conference play for the Cougars, 7-19 was their overall record. They were 6-6 within conference play. So that means out of conference, the Cougars, they went 1-13 before getting into conference play, getting into NAC play. So signs of struggle against non-conference opponents might not be the worst signs for this Cougar squad, as last year they were able to play 500 ball within the conference despite a one-win non-conference schedule. The Cougars earn a point there, pull back within single digits, 16-7 now. David Vales to serve. Vales. Eugene to Gedville. Strong attack there from Salazar. Goes out of bounds. Cougars pulling a little closer. Cougars within 8 of the Vikings. Meanwhile, North Park within 9 of a set 2 victory. Cougars looking to avoid that dreaded 0-2 set hole. That one popped up and into the stands. Blake Rosen, quick on his feet to bounce around on the stands, avoid crashing into anything or anyone. Point still goes the way of North Park. Lead back up to 9. Vicente Cabrera to see if he can get it to double digits now as he gets set for his serve. Serve is up and over. Padron, Mosher, Hollaback blocked up front just enough that Cabrera can get some hands on it. Salazar, good play there by Rosen to keep things alive. Vales just has to send it over. Gedville read beautifully by Mosher. Padron, his attempt blocked in front. I think that hit Rosen in the face. He pops right back up. So that lead back to double digits. Cabrera. Rosen to Mosher. Here goes Hollaback. That's what happens when Tyler Hollaback set up just right. The 6'2" Lincoln Way West high school graduate has plenty of length, has a good wingspan on him, so able to get a lot behind those passes. Chris Livesay to serve now. See if he can pull his team a little closer. 9 points is the deficit. Play there from Adrian Calez. Now the Cougars, they have to deal with it. Hollaback again! Tyler Hollaback. 2 straight kills for number 9 in white. That's point number 10 for the Cougars. They're within 8. Livesay gets the go-ahead, the serve. Gedville sent over to CUC side. Here's Padron. Eugene right there. Gedville again. Salazar blocked in front. Andre Moeller, Tyler Hollaback. The 6'5" freshman and 6'2" senior. Teamwork making the dream work. The Cougars, they pull within 7 now. Livesay. Whistle blown. Violation called on North Park. Coach Supposi to have some words with Jackson about it. Maybe an illegal shift or movements from North Park prior to the serve. That cuts the deficit down even more. It's a 6-point lead. Livesay. Calez, now Eugene. Livesay's right there. His natural position is libero and defensive specialist. Vales now. Padron. His attempt is futile as double touch called on CUC. So that ends the Cougar run. Did a good job cutting into the North Park lead, though. 4 straight points from the Cougars, including a couple of kills from Tyler Hollaback. And another kill for the Cougars. Things are getting interesting here in set 2. North Park looked to be pulling away with this one. Multiple double-digit leads. But the Cougars have got it down to 6. Hollaback is served. The Cougars see if they can cut it down to 5. Good block there by Mosher and Moeller. Another attempt that dies off the hands of Hollaback. 20-point mark reached by North Park. They're just 5 away. Coming in to serve is number 7, Zach Hayden, libero defensive specialist out of South Bend, Indiana. Hollaback, too much mustard on that one as it goes out of bounds. Four points away from set 2 victory are the Vikings of North Park. Hayden to serve once more. Padron sends it back over. Gedville tries the trick play. It's read beautifully by CUC. Hollaback now. Cougars have control. Blocked up front. Vales able to keep it alive. Mosher. Padron. He's going to send it over. Played by Salazar. Eugene blocked in front, but out of bounds. Point Cougars. That lead up to 9 now. Cougars they had things pulled within 6 after a 4-0 run. Now 3 straight points from North Park. 4 of the last 5 has jacked it back up to a 9-point lead for the visiting team in white, Hayden. And a mishandle there from Vales. (23-13) the score. Hayden. It's up and over and out. Padron. Gedville going all the way up. Talk about a vertical. The 5'7" freshman, Xander Duenas, coming to North Park all the way from Guam. And he got up for that one. Gedville serve, played by Vales, set point for North Park, and Duenas is right there again to end things off. Excuse me, not violation called on North Park. So the Cougars, they have to go on a pretty impressive run here if they want to have any chance at taking home set 2. It's a 9-point lead, set point for North Park. Deontay Garcia, it's into the net. So the service error ends the Cougars set 2 run, and North Park takes home the second set 25-15, a commanding 2-0 lead in tonight's match. The Cougars, they're fighting for their match lives here in the upcoming set 3. We'll have that action for you in just a couple minutes. But until then, stick around on the Cougar Sports Network. Vikings up 2-0 on the Cougars. Set 3 about to commence here in Geisman Gymnasium. Cougars are fighting for their lives as they're down 2-0 against the North Park Vikings. Look at that box score. The Cougars' hitting percentage taking a massive hit in that second set. They're down to .081. You're not going to do much winning with that number. Meanwhile, North Park, a respectable number of .238. Service errors calm down a little, 7-6 is the mark. Cougars with the 7, Vikings with the 6. Meanwhile, attacking errors, 12-9 advantage North Park as they have less errors. Cougars also have a pair of blocking errors. So 5 seconds left to go in the set break. Here's the final buzzer, goes off now. The teams make their way to the courts. Vikings like to finish off the 3-0 sweep of the Cougars. They want to see if they can make some magic happen in this match. A long way to go, though, as they have to win the next 3 sets. The Cougars, they ended their season last year on a 3-0 sweep at the hands of MSOE. That's the last time the Cougars have been swept in a match. That was on April 2nd of 2022. Meanwhile, North Park, last time they swept somebody, you have to go back to last season on March 30th. CCIW matchup at Augustana took care of Augustana 3-0. Funny enough, they also ended their season by being swept in a loss against number 3 in the country, Carthage. So see what will happen here in set 3. Cougars look to force set number 4. Meanwhile, North Park looks to finish off CUC, hand the Cougars their 3rd loss in about 36 hours or so, as that first serve goes out. Now to serve for North Park is number 13, Ty Ingrao. Padron. And great run out there from Ingrao. Keeps things alive a little longer, but not long enough as play eventually ends. Here's Hollaback. Service error, number 2 in the set for the Cougars. Might have jinxed thing when I said service errors were cleaned up in that second set, as both of North Park's points from this third set, have come off of CUC service errors. Van Gato and Tyler Hollaback, the culprits. Now making his first appearance of the match is number 12, Johan John Sampson. Point North Park, that's Jonah John Sampson. Mispronunciation on my end. As the freshman middle blocker out of Texas goes back to serve it up once more. Bales, Mosher, Padron. Talk about a rocket from the freshman. It's Cabrera who got a hand on it. Couldn't do anything about it. Too much velocity on that one. Padron, after the kill, comes out. He was getting ready to serve. Instead, Chris Livesay comes in to do the honors. Cougars down early here. Set number 3, 3-2. Livesay up and over. Gedville sets up Eugene. Emmanuel Eugene. He leads North Park with 6 kills. Next closest are Vicente Cabrera and Ty Ingrao. Both of them have 4. Kill leader in the match is still Tyler Hollaback of the Cougars with 7. Livesay the dig. Vale's able to play him. Mosher's just going to send it over. Gedville. He sets up number 15, Parker Payne. Mosher, that block got thrown back in his face, but he keeps it moving. Here's Eugene again. Now, Livesay to Hollaback. That rolled off the fingertips of some Vikings and died down on the ground. Cougars pull back within 1, 4-3. Moeller. Service error on part of the freshman. 5-3 now in favor of the serving team. Emmanuel Eugene got a hold of that one. Blake Rosen able to play it though. David Vale's attempt goes out. Three-point lead in favor of North Park. Eugene to Vales to Mosher, sets up Hollaback almost from the back row. Eugene now, and Livesay couldn't get down for that one. Service error from Emmanuel Eugene. Mosher set the serve. There's a service error again. Mosher keeps it on their Cougars side for an attempt from Vladimir Erickson. Now that attempt goes off the right forearm of Hollabeck and out. 5-point advantage now for the Vikings. 9 serving 4. Mosher to Hollabeck. It's the Cougars back at it. 9-5 now is the score. David Vales. Ten serving 5 now after the North Park score. Another service error. Both squads having some troubles from the serving line. Six serving 10. Van Gato in and back to do it. Gato. On this young season, he committed 11 serving errors in yesterday's pair of games, as we are still going here in this set. This volley, I should say, which ends the way of North Park. It also has 1 serving error in tonight's matchup. As here is Ty Ingrao of Rockford East High School in Rockford. That one goes out of bounds. I think that hit one of the line judges. He looked absolutely unfazed, however. Now here's Hollabeck. Serve. Ingrao. Miscommunication there. That ball left in no man's land. Coach Saposi probably not happy with that miscommunication, but there's a mistake on the serve. Jonah John Sampson now Grazes the top of the net before going out. Cougars back within 3. Chris Livesay to serve. Gedville. Nice accuracy shown off there by Parker Payne. Teddy Gedville. Too much on that one. Cougars correctly call it out. Back within 3 now, 13 serving 10. Andre Moeller. Ready to do so. Moeller. Eugene, that one hits the ground. I think Moeller got a hand on it, but not enough under it. Eugene to serve once more. Here, 14-10, off the top of the net. Mosher, Vales, way too strong, sends that one towards the crowd. Eugene, 10 serving 15. Rosen pops it up. Mosher now to set Vales. Little one-handed floater, and it beats the Vikings. Mosher, Eugene, and here goes Ingrao, just inside the line. Almost looked like it had gone out. Instead, the officials say it was indeed inside. And point goes to the Vikings. Cabrera pings it inside the line. So the Vikings showing off their accuracy here in set number 3, and that'll force a Greg Manos time out. His Cougars, they got their backs against the ropes right now, down 17-11 to the Vikings. Take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network, but don't go anywhere. Set 3 about to conclude. And here in River Forest. The Cougars down by 6 to a Vikings team who ever since set 2 started have been absolutely dominating in their play. Set 3 has been a little closer. No double-digit lead yet, which we saw quite a couple of. And set 2 as Tyler Hollbeck comes out of a timeout, gives the Cougars a point with that kill. Now Vale's back to serve. The Cougars' hitting percentage really hasn't moved much. It sits at .088. It's .081 after set 2. Now Hollaback goes for another kill. Instead, it's blocked, sent back to the Cougars' side for the North Park point. Vicente Cabrera. Serve played by Rosen, played by Mosher. Hollaback with the attempt. Goes off some blockers, hands in, out. CUC point, back within 5 now. They're going to have to go on a big run at some point, though, as they trail the Vikings by 5. Meanwhile, the Vikings just 7 points away from a set 3 victory, which would be a match victory as well. They lead the match 2-0. Van Gato up and over. Strong serve there by the freshman wearing 24. Mosher, nice kill. Andre Moeller. That chemistry between him and fellow freshman Eli Mosher on full display there. That's kill number 6 for Moeller. Meanwhile, it should be assist number 24 for Mosher. That grazes a Cougar paw before heading out of bounds. Ty Ingrao about to see if he can get his Vikings to point number 20. Vales isn't going to let that happen yet. Here goes Hollaback. Finishes the play. Cougars within 4 now. Hollaback to serve. Gedville. Eugene, that off the Cougars' hands and out. 20-15 now. Now into the match to serve is number 25, Jinwan Song of Newark, Delaware. Good serve there from the freshman, Setter and Labiro. Eugene continues his tear. Four points away from a 3-0 match sweep, the Vikings are. Song. A clean service ace for the freshman. Cougars called out on that one. It was indeed not out. Just inside the corner. As Song gets some, he's a freshman chance from his bench, who he serves right in front of. Now Mosher, nice play there by the freshman. We saw him pull that trick out of his bag a couple times yesterday. A lot of setters like to do that. They position themselves as if they're, well, gonna set up one of their hitters, and instead they just kind of flip it over the net. Mosher pulls it off successfully there as Chris Livesay gets set to serve now. Cougars, they need a run here. Down by 6. Make that down by 7 now, as North Park needs just 2 points to end tonight's matchup. Cabrera and Condoy in. Meanwhile, Kevin Jacob as well as Teddy Gedville check out for the Vikings. Condoy, too much sauce on that one. It's over the line. Point CUC. Cougars stay alive. Their chances of staying alive, let's put it that way, are improving here as they now trail by just 4. And an attack there from Adekunle Adebayo. Goes out of bounds. Another international player on the North Park squad, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Joined Xander Dueñez, who's from Guam. Adrian Calez, Puerto Rico. Alejandra Condoy from Ecuador. And then, of course, Vicente Cabrera, I already mentioned, from Santiago, Chile. A lot of foreign players on this North Park roster, as they have match point here. Cougars aren't done yet as they control it. Vales, Eugene. Great play from Caleb Patrick, as he was almost going into the stands for that one. Vales, Cougars, they ain't done yet. 24-18 now. They need to go on a 6-0 run to force extra volleyball, which at that point you have to win by 2. They got to get there first, as here's Mosher. Patrick. That attack goes nowhere. Cougars still alive. Vales. And it's tipped off a Vikings hand. Almost looked like the end of the night for CUC, but Vikings player got some fingers on it. We're still going. Eli Mosher, his serve is good. Patrick. And here's Cabrera. We're still alive. Good play by Eli Mosher defensively. Rosen, but it hits the ground. Rosen looked like he got under it and said, the ladder official says it was made contact with the hardwood. And that'll do it for set 3, 25-19, and that'll do it for tonight's matchup. The Vikings come into River Forest, sweep the Cougars on home court 3-0. So the Cougars, they'll fall to 0-3 on the season. Meanwhile, North Park will improve to 4-2. Cougars 0-3 in these 2 days alone. Opened up with a Concordia Invitational try yesterday, which they lost to Adrian and Illinois Wesleyan, and then lost tonight. North Park 3 sets to none. Look at some of the final statistics. Kill leader of the match is the Cougars' number 9, Tyler Hollebeck. 12 kills. Meanwhile, leading North Park in that category was Emmanuel Eugene with 10. Assist leader, there was a tie. Teddy Gedville, had 27 for the Vikings. Meanwhile, the freshman Eli Mosher, 27 of his own for the Cougars. The digs leader is Blake Rosen with 14 for CUC. So that'll wrap it up on the stats side of things. Looking ahead in the schedule, the Cougars, they'll travel to Springfield, Ohio for a matchup at Wittenberg College. 6 p.m. first serve time on this upcoming Friday, February 3rd. Coverage for that match can be found at our website, cucougars.com. Meanwhile, North Park, they'll be back in action against the Cougars' fellow NAC opponent, Aurora University. That'll be an away game for the Vikings. That is also this upcoming Friday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. So that'll do it for tonight's broadcast. I want to say thanks to everyone making it possible. Wyatt McLaughlin working the scoreboard. Katie Schrems helping out with the scorebook and Libero. Julia Beer is helping out with the spotting of the stats. Meanwhile, we got Ryan McGee up in the production booth. We're under the direction of Sydney Plaskas-Laher, Claire Hickey, and our sports information director, Kayla McLeod. Once again, Vikings come into River Forest, defeat the Cougars 3-0. That'll do it for tonight's presentation of the Cougar Sports Network. This is Peter Borkowski signing off and wanting to say, as always, go Cougars.